What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's discuss Smackdown for June the 23rd, 2023. Show for the most part was decent. It's funny that a lot of these geeks and nerds in the IWC and YWC complain because of the simple fact of the matter you didn't get Bayley versus Shotzi Blackheart, with Bayley's spot in Money in the Bank up for grabs. Who cares? Like, the whole damage control nonsense is a failure and has been a flop for months. And it doesn't really even matter to me. I don't even care about that. Again, these clowns will find any way to bitch and moan because they don't get what they want. Grow up. Seriously, grow up. You might even get the match next week. Who cares? Anyway, I think that Bayley being in Money in the Bank is fine because you need star power. Not just Trish Stratus, but Bayley herself helps out, along with Becky Lynch. So, I'm glad that match was canceled. It makes sense. And I'm fine with it. Who cares? But it's so funny to see these geeks online complain. I get a laugh out of it. It makes me laugh. It does make me laugh. Because these are the geeks that take shit way too serious. Right? These are the people that want the main roster to be NXT Black and Gold. Right? When, once again, that didn't even give them an increase in revenue. They weren't even pulling anything with that. It was a money pit. A waste of time. But it is what it is. They will always complain. But it's funny to get a little laugh. But let's go ahead and get into the show. So we kick the show off with the Usos. We get a really good pop from the crowd. A massive Uso chant starts up. So Jay goes to announce that the Bloodline is in your city, but he corrects himself and says the Usos. That was funny. So Jimmy says he feels good. How about Jay? Jay says they're about to fight family, which you do not do. Family's supposed to lift each other up. Jimmy says it sounds like Jay made the perfect decision. They love each other and also love Roman Reigns. Jay goes on about how they'd do anything for Roman, but he messed up by disrespecting them. Jimmy says they were raised on respect. The Usos go on about how Paul Heyman is the biggest rider of them all. The Usos hype up the Civil War at Money in the Bank and how they're the greatest tag team in the game. And then they say the O2 Arena in London will be locked down. And then they welcome Roman and Solo to the Uso Penitentiary. And I love this. This was absolutely great. Really good stuff. The crowd was hyped for this. And I am super excited for this shit. Bloodline Civil War, sign me up. Let's go. Let's go. Because I wonder if Solo will side with the Usos, which I have a feeling that he will, because it would actually make sense. They even mentioned in the promo that they can forgive Solo for what he did, but what Roman did to them is unforgivable. So I did love that aspect, and I do see Solo in due time reuniting with his brothers, waking up from Roman's clutches, if you will, waking up from that spell that Roman has him in, and he's able to break that spell and align with his brothers. So that could be a beautiful story when it's all said and done with. Really decent way to kick off the show, though. Moving on, first match of the night, LA Knight versus Rey Mysterio. Pretty decent match. LA Knight gets the win via the BFT for the 1-2-3. Post-match, LA Knight goes to attack Rey, and he attempts to remove his mask, but Santos Escobar runs down and makes a save. Okay? So, Solo and Paul Heyman, they're walking backstage. Ridge Holland, he's walking by, he's on his phone. He stops in front of Solo and asks what he's looking at out of nowhere. Solo drops Ridge Holland with a Samoan spike, which was badass. I absolutely love that shit. Ridge sold it perfectly. It was great. Solo says that he's not in the mood tonight. Solo keeps walking. Heyman follows, and he makes a phone call to Roman. So continuing on, Ridge is gasping for air backstage. Sheamus and Adam Pearce are there. Sheamus wants to fight Solo Sikoa. Pearce says he'll deal with it, but Sheamus says that's not good enough. So Pearce calls for help for Ridge Holland. Sheamus goes out to the stage and has some words for Solo, calling him out for later. Sheamus says basically to get his ass in the ring, and he's going to be in the biggest fight of his life, that being Solo Sikoa. Sign me up. Absolutely good shit here. Sheamus versus Solo. Sign me up. Really good stuff here. Great stuff here, actually. I love me some Sheamus. Next, the Women's Tag Team Championship unification match. It was the WWE Women's Tag Team titles and the Women's NXT Tag Team Championships. So, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. So, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler get the win here. It was an okay little match. I didn't really even watch it, though, if we're being honest. But I saw the end of it, and basically, both Isla Dawn and Alba Fire tapped to the Coquina Clutch and the armbar. That was great. So I like this. This is fine. It makes sense. I know people are going to be pissed, but why would you? I think that Isla Dawn is better off as a singles, and the same goes for Alba Fire. They might get a rematch, but I doubt it. But I think with them being single wrestlers is fine with me, because I would actually put Alba Fire on Raw and just keep Isla Dawn on Smackdown. That's kind of what I would do, honestly. Because they were only together just because they wanted the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. That's why they were together all that time down in NXT. So, yeah. Because, both women are fine on their own. Like, they're really decent mid-card fodder for the most part. Like, they'll never become, like, the women's world champion or WWE women's champion. That'll never happen. But they'll be solid within that mid-card. So that's what I would do. Post-match, Ronda Rousey gets on the mic. She insults the people of Louisiana and asks Raquel why she's here. Raquel was also out on commentary. So Raquel, she's walking up to the ring. She's smiling as usual. So she enters the ring and says she's here because we won a shot at the titles that we never lost. Baszler wants to know who we is, and out comes Liv Morgan, returning from her injury, which happened back in early May. So that's pretty cool that she was only out for about, 2.5 months? That's not bad. So the two teams face off, and that was it. Okay, so we might get that next week. I think we are going to get that next week. I think it's advertised that we're going to get that next week. Obviously, we know that Rhonda and Shayna are going to win anyway. So, I mean, there's that. Like, who really gives a shit, if we're being honest? Moving on. Grayson Waller. He gets another grand induction for the Grayson Waller Effect. Okay. I don't understand, why are we turning Grayson Waller into The Miz? He's doing more talk shows than he is wrestling. The guy can go. Let him go. And this is the problem that I have with Triple H. Why in the fuck is Grayson Waller not wrestling on this show? It doesn't make any sense at all. The guy has been there for well over a month. Give him some matches. Even if you have to go out and get indie jobbers to face Grayson Waller, get this guy going. This guy can go. This guy proved it when he was down in NXT. He was great. And all of a sudden, he's on the main roster, and all he's just doing is week after week or every other week doing talk show after talk show after talk show. That's all he's doing. And I hate that. That pisses me off. It absolutely pisses me off because you have a solid upper mid-card guy who's ready. And I just don't understand why Triple H won't push this guy. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm fine with the Grayson Waller Effect, but he has been completely cooled off and turned all the way down from what he was in NXT. When Shawn Michaels had this guy, Shawn Michaels really put a lot of time with this guy. He put a lot in for Grayson Waller, right? So I don't know what Triple H's issue is with Grayson Waller, but it needs to stop. And Grayson Waller really needs to get the ball rolling. I could damn sure see him being a U.S. champion if Austin Theory wasn't holding the U.S. championship. I mean, even if we can get him in some feuds, that would be good. Like, what about a feud with him and AJ Styles once AJ Styles' feud is done with Karrion Kross? You know? Just putting it out there. They have history. So, I apologize for that rant. Moving on. The Grayson Waller Effect. So, Grayson Waller, he comes out. He brags about being the hottest superstar in all of WWE. So, tonight's guests are the WWE's hottest tag team. He introduces Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson. So, the trios insult Americans. Then Pretty Deadly goes on about how they're taking next Friday's title shot seriously, but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn aren't giving them the same respect. Then the fans chant "shut up" and give them a what treatment as they go on about being a better team than the champions, and that will still be true in 10 years when they're still running the division. That was a good one right there. That was a good one. So Grayson Waller then says last week's gauntlet was truly inspiring. Pretty Deadly goes on taking shots at the other tag teams in the gauntlet. The Street Profits, they come out and they interrupt. The Profits want to properly introduce Pretty Deadly to the smoke. Then this sets us up for our next match, which is Pretty Deadly versus the Street Profits. Really decent match here. In the end, Pretty Deadly get the win via a foot on the ropes for the 1, 2, 3, which is always good. That's great. That is great stuff there. Even though Pretty Deadly will not win next week. But I still like your boys. Pretty Deadly are very, very good. Very good. So, Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans is next. And like I said before, the geeks online went apeshit when this happened. Again, no one cares about damage control. Why are you complaining about that? Damage control is not over. Who cares? So this match was short. Charlotte Flair locks in the figure 8 fairly quickly. Evans taps out. Out of nowhere, Asuka slides in and she beats the shit out of Charlotte Flair. And then she dips out. Moving on. So Adam Pearce is in his office. So Bianca Belair comes in. She makes her case for being at ringside for Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for next week. But Adam Pearce says he doesn't want to risk anything happening because he's banning Bianca from ringside. Pearce says Bianca will be able to confront the winner. And then Bianca says, like before, she asked if she should trust Pearce. And I do think that we'll see a heel turn next week. Maybe. I think that Bianca probably will get involved. And it'll be a no contest. Setting up a triple threat at Money in the Bank. I don't know if they're going to go that route. I don't think we need an entire month of Charlotte, Bianca, and Asuka. We don't need that. I think they could actually go ahead and do all that at Money in the Bank. And then they'll probably end up doing a one-on-one match with whoever wins the triple threat. So that's probably what I think they'll do. So I think that Bianca is going to cost both Charlotte and Asuka. And then we get the triple threat at Money in the Bank. I'm going to say Asuka wins that. And then we'll probably end up doing Asuka versus Bianca at SummerSlam. I don't know. Something's going to happen. That's just all I know. Moving on. The main event, which was great. I enjoyed it. Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa. This was a great match. Sheamus was able to get in the 10 beat to the Ballard. A very physical and hard-hitting match. So, towards the end of the match, Solo and Sheamus are brawling on the outside. Out of nowhere, Solo puts Sheamus through the barrier with the Rikishi splash. And the referee calls for the match to be stopped. So that's how Solo wins, which made sense. Michael Cole said on commentary earlier that Solo needs to win this. And this was the right call here. It was actually believable. And it makes really good sense. So this match was great. It was hard and physical. Post-match, the medics, they go check on Sheamus. Solo, he snaps. He starts dropping officials and medics with Samoan spikes. Out comes the Usos. They come out. He prepares for a fight with his brothers. They start brawling. Then Jay hits a super kick. Then Jimmy. Then they do a double super kick. And then the Usos, they hit the Uso splash on Solo at the same time, and then they celebrate, and then we go off the air. So that was SmackDown for the most part. It was decent, you know. There's still no word as to where Bobby Lashley is. We don't know what's up with Bray Wyatt. We don't know where Karrion Kross is. There was no AJ Styles. I don't know, man. I don't know. But SmackDown was okay. It was not bad. It was just decent. It was funny seeing people online lose their shit all because we didn't see Bayley and Shotzi. Like, it wasn't going to matter. Like, who cares? Shotzi wasn't going to win anyway. Like, you need star power in the women's Money in the Bank. And, with Becky being there, along with Bayley, as well as Trish Stratus, there's your star power, right? So I don't understand why, Bayley would need to be taken out of the match anyway. And anyway, Bayley's not going to win anyway. Next week should be interesting because we're going to be in London for the Go Home show. It should be interesting. We'll probably get some more Bloodline drama next week, which is always a good thing. So this week was an okay show. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.